There are tons of organizations that are still citing a huge need. And so I think it's easy to kind of get caught up in those questions, Rosey, of, we say that there's a pipeline problem, but then we see this type of stuff happening. I think the challenges that the profession sees in needing qualified talent.
I have interviewed a lot of people who even get back to get a CPA license many, many years, more than 5 years in the career. And they see that there's a strong benefit, strong motivation to get those 3 letters after their names. But Liz, I forgot to ask you at the very beginning, when you know that you want to go with accounting major, how did you know that you wanted to be a CPA and decided to study for CPA exam right away after you graduate in December?
So Rosey, I think for me, who was a critical influencer for me was that high school teacher who was a CPA. And so he understood the value of the license, not only, to be able to protect public interest and be able to ensure that capital markets are running appropriately and efficiently and things like that. It was also that credential that you get to hold on to as an individual to set yourself apart from others was really something that stood out to me, that I was like, if I'm going to do this and I'm going to be an accountant, I want to set myself apart. And I really want to be able to open as many opportunities as I possibly can for the future of my career. And like I had mentioned earlier, I was, single family home. Both my parents, they had never gone to college. And so I knew what it was like to not be able to afford a lot of stuff. And I wanted a different future for my family. And so it felt like the most appropriate pathway with my skill set and where my passions were to be able to just really put all of my eggs in the basket of I'm going to be a CPA and I'm going to do this for myself and my future family. And I think really having that, my heart set on it early on, that it wasn't something that an employer had to tell me to go do, or it wasn't something a mentor had to say, I think this is really important for you to go get your license before I can promote you. It was really intrinsic. It was intrinsically motivated. And I think that has really been beneficial for me. And I can certainly say for my family to be able to set them up for success, not only from the perspective of the career opportunities I had, but also the knowledge that comes with being a CPA and knowing how to set my family up financially sound. That matters to me. And I think that's certainly an added benefit of being able to be in that position is, really just wanting to do something different and set myself apart from my peers who are also, choosing to be accounting. How about you, Rosey? Tell me, why did you choose accounting?
Perfect question. My question is my perfect answer. My answer is not as good as yours. And so I think I just accidentally became a CPA. When I went to college, I was super involved in accounting society, accounting club and everything. And I went to the career fairs, all those activities, but it never crossed my mind that I wanted to be a CPA after I graduated with my bachelor degree. And then when I studied for my master degree in accounting, and people start I start noticing people interviewing for Big Four, and then talking about CPAs. And I was like, okay, never crossed my mind. Still, okay, that's fine. Option there. And then my friend actually she came to me and asked me, hey, Rosey, do you want to split the cost to get the CPA materials and study for CPA exam? And I was like, okay, people talk about CPA at school, and then you want me to study CPA exam with you? Cool, let's just do it. I swear that's the only reason I take CPA exam. And it never crossed my mind that, oh my God, CPA is awesome. I heard about that, but it's not really something standing out for me right away. And because I start the CPA exam, and I'm the one who wants to finish what I started. So that's the reason why I passed the 4 CPA exam, 4 sections. And when I passed 4 sections, and I was like, all right, now I passed 4 sections, I cannot waste this section. I need to get the CPA experience. And so I want to get my CPA experience and then be a CPA. And then I was like, oh my God, being a CPA is awesome.
Two different stories, the same trajectory, fun stories. I love it, Rosey.
Yeah, and so I was like, Well, I'm not the best person to ask about like why I want to be a CPA because it's not a really my initial thought. But when I became a CPA, I know it's a lot of amazing benefits, a lot of amazing advantage out there. That's why I create this podcast. That's why I want to talk to people, share about the CPA journeys, share about CPA stories, because every single story we always learn something. We always have some experience to share with the audience and always feel like, oh my God, this profession has so much to offer. Even you are accountant only, it still has a lot of options for you to offer. But if you are already an accountant, why don't you just become a CPA? Why not? It just opens so many doors for you out there. Yeah. So yeah, become a CPA. That's a great topic that we can discuss about until tomorrow. But because you work at AICPA, can you just disclose or like introduce a little bit about what AICPA is so the audience can feel more familiar where you work with and you work with this place? You has been working at AICPA for like almost 8 years and a half, more than 8 years and a half.
Yep. So AICPA is the Association of International Certified Public Accountants. We're a member body organization. We have, I'm not sure the exact number of members we have now, maybe somewhere around 500,000 CPA and non-CPA members. But a lot of the work that we do is dedicated toward advocacy work in order to continue to promote CPA licensure and ensure that, all of the work that we do is appropriate across the board. AICPA also sets standards for accountants and auditors specifically, along with a lot of other varying standards that we put out there. We also do peer review. And there are a lot of other, I would say, magazines, articles, thought leadership that we put out there in order to, again, support our members, support state societies who continue to do amazing work in their each individual state. So there's a lot of work that we do there. For my personal experiences as well, the AICPA also creates. So we create and we score the CPA exam. So I know a lot of people don't actually know that when they go to sit and test at the exam center, which I will say, but I hope no one hears me. I didn't actually even know that. I think it was a question on my exam was like, who creates the CPA exam? The answer is the AICPA, but I didn't know that. And so I think that's certainly something is an amazing thing that we get to do again for the profession is have one uniform CPA exam for anyone who wants to become a CPA. And then also from the perspective of what I get to do now, Rosey, is we also do a lot of work promoting and increasing attraction and awareness to students and candidates throughout their schooling journeys within high schools and college to encourage them to be accountants and hopefully also see them progress in their career trajectories into being a CPA. As an organization, we also have a lot of other credentials that we offer. There's too many to list here, but I'm sure if someone's interested, Rosey, we could put something when this goes live and we can put some information attached to this, but there's a lot of other credentials that our organization offers, along with a lot of CPE and events and networking. And like you mentioned, Rosey, we have an amazing events for emerging professionals, one of which is Leadership Academy. So our organization certainly believes in the future of the profession and being able to build and grow future leaders throughout the profession. So at a really high level, that's the type of stuff the AICPA does.
Yeah, all the networking event and then all the AICPA leadership programs. Oh my God. I just strongly recommend audience to check all these events out at AICPA website. And also AICPA Engage is amazing. I cannot.
You're going to be there this year, Rosey.
My belly will be too big at that time.
Well, I'll be there this year. So if anyone who's listening wants to meet me in person, I'll be at Engage this year. So I'm really excited about that. And Rosey, to that point too, you could definitely check out AICPA on our homepage, but we also have free resources for students, and those are found on thiswaytocpa.com. We have free student membership available to students and anyone who's interested. There's some exam information on This Way to CPA. So anyone who's listening, I certainly encourage you to sign up there. There's a ton of amazing information available for anyone who's interested in learning more, finding career paths, stuff like that.
Yeah, and so you work at AICPA for about 8 years and a half, and you move from manager to senior manager to associate director, and now you just got promoted to a director last April, last month, literally just last month. Oh my God, congratulations.
Thank you, Rosie. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and so most seems like you focusing on CPA pipeline now. And this seems like a hot topic in our profession about talking about CPA pipeline. Talking about that, I have a question that I try to understand lately that people say, oh my God, we don't have enough accountants, we don't have enough CPAs. But and then at the same time, I noticed that a lot of CPAs they start laying off people. So it's kind of conflicting. Like I was like, that doesn't make sense to me. So because you work on CPA Pipeline, maybe you can walk me through the thought process, why we need more accountants at the same time some accountants get laid off, and people say that this profession is going to be stable, you will have a job all the time, but now, hey, I don't have a job. Now I need to look for a new job. How does that work?
That's a great question, Rosie. I think it's a multifaceted answer. And so honestly, I think there's a huge demand and need for accountants from everything that I certainly see. All of the research points to there being an increased demand. We've seen a lot of studies come out, one of which I'm going to cite off of the top of my head. So I'll do my best to do it correctly. But Deal, which is a global HR company, had seen year over year increase for accounting hiring at increase 74%, which is huge. So there's a global need for accountants. We've seen time and time again, on news headlines and stuff like that, organizations are unable to file their financial reports, or they're having difficulty, or there's, issues with their financial reports because they're citing a lack of appropriate talent, especially in their accounting department. And so I think all of that combined is still incredibly strong. And I would still encourage anyone who's considering pursuing accounting to be able to understand that just because there's a news headline saying that there is a firm or firms offering layoffs or changing the way that they have their business structured, that wouldn't be a red flag for me. I think each organization is, again, navigating challenging new dynamic times right now. And so we're probably going to see changes like that. And we've always seen changes like that, especially over the past couple of years. And so that wouldn't be something that is like a major red flag to me. I think one thing that, again, I would leave students with is what I had started to say earlier, is there are so many opportunities that just because what you think or see on a news headline is, oh, a large firm is doing large scale layoffs. That doesn't mean that the firm down the street doesn't need incredible talent. It doesn't mean that the mid-sized firm or the still other large firms don't need incredible talent. It doesn't mean that your local government is not also vying for talent. And again, there are tons of organizations that are still citing a huge need. And so I think it's easy to kind of get caught up in those questions, Rosie, of, we say that there's a pipeline problem, but then we see this type of stuff happening. I think the challenges that the profession sees in needing qualified talent is so great and so large that those type of unfortunate events are going to happen. But I'm confident anyone who certainly had experience at a large firm can get and will have the skill set in order to get another amazing opportunity. It's not the end of their road, and they can certainly continue to progress through that. Well, I know my career path has always been on my choice. Just because something happens to someone that's not their choice does not mean it's the end of their career path, and they can certainly take those learnings and say, well, I loved being able to do XYZ, but I didn't like this that much. And they get to take that and apply that to the next role that they have. So I always see those type of things as opportunities, honestly, Rosie. So that's kind of my take on it all.
So you mentioned about skill sets. What are the main skill sets you think that are very valuable to young professions to grow in this, for young professionals to grow in this profession?
So I think the skills that accountants and future accountants need are going to be like a digital acumen, that digital mindset, certainly being incredibly comfortable with the use of AI. I know there's been a lot of conversation about AI in accounting. I wholeheartedly believe that AI is a tool that we can use in order to increase our skills and our capabilities to a higher potential earlier on in our careers. So those students and those who are, just starting out in their job, the more comfortable you are using those tools, the better off you'll be today and in the future of your career. So that digital mindset, being comfortable with AI are all critical skills. And I certainly think leadership, communication, time management, any sort of Excel skills that we need, I think that's still incredibly, incredibly important. And I certainly hear that through review course providers that I talk to and academics and faculty that we speak to is a student's comfortability in navigating a computer and picking up the phone and calling someone or having that one-on-one conversation. Those are key skills that you may not think you're learning in school, or they aren't the technical accounting skills, but they are so, so, so critically necessary to your involvement in the workplace and building relationships, within the workplace and outside of the workplace. I think those are cornerstone skills that are so important for accountants to have across the board. And so, shocker, I didn't say it's debits and credits or, knowing bond accounting, but it's those type of skills that I think really, make or break someone's ability to navigate a career gracefully, for sure.
I absolutely agree with you about all those skill sets. They are so important, especially with technology age right now, like digital mindset. Oh my God. I think you are the first person who brought up that term, digital mindset. We talk a lot about AI, talk a lot about technologies, communication, leadership. So in order to build this skill set for young professionals, do you have any tips and advice? What can they do to improve, to enhance this skill set?
So I definitely think it starts with their knowledge of knowing maybe where it is that they lack or where it is that they're not comfortable with. While I think some of this may be offered in college courses, they may be offered through extra courses if you're looking to still achieve your 150 credit hours. There are a lot of opportunities to get business acumen or business communications or negotiation skills, those type courses at a local community college. So I'm a big supporter of that type of stuff. I think those are great opportunities, but I also think, and Rosey, you could weigh in on this, and I say this from my experience, is being able to attend events or attend sessions or attend CPE or, purchase some sort of specific skill pack to be able to work through those type of things. But I think the key is, Rosey, is telling someone like a mentor or a coach that you trust to say, I'm doing this. I'm trying to learn my skill set. Can you help me? Can you hold me accountable? And can you provide me with real-time feedback around how I'm doing in this area? I think that's a huge key that, again, sets someone apart, is like that, hold me accountable to this and give me feedback. Those are two really big not only skill sets, but things that you'll need as you progress throughout your career. So I think there's a lot of ways someone can identify new skills that they need to grab, however they choose to do it, but telling someone that they're doing it and getting that real-time feedback of, I'm trying to work on my communication. Can you hold me accountable to that? Or is there any feedback that you could provide to me? Because this is something I'm actively trying to work on, is huge. And I will also say I use this even to this day, Rosey, is I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to them on leadership. I listen to them on anything that I'm trying to learn more about. I think that time in the car, while I could be, listening to some music, but I think that time in the car is always time that I can continue to multitask and be able to learn and build and grow my personal skill set. So those are all the type of tools I would encourage someone to use.
Yep, podcast, ebook. That's very helpful as well. You can listen to podcast, you can listen to ebook. For me, I feel like if I read a book, it takes me forever. But if I listen to an ebook and then when I do house chores or when I get ready in the morning, I finish a lot more books than I thought. I was like, this is convenient and someone just read it for me. I don't have to read it by myself.
Yep. You know what, Rosey? It's easy to get caught up in scrolling on your phone or getting caught up in other things. But if I intentionally try to leave time and space for my own personal development, that's what's going to serve me today. And it's going to serve me in 2 years from now. So I really intentionally try and give myself time and space for those type of things. So listening to podcasts, the ebooks, those are going to help me instead of just time away from me if I'm just scrolling on Instagram and looking at clothes or something.
Yeah, it's so easy.
I try and give myself those boundaries.
It's so easy to just look at those social media and then spend time on it and say, oh my God, I lost track of half an hour, just look at like silly, funny videos, or I look at like online shopping and say, oh my God, what did I do with my time? So yeah. And you also mentioned that you have 2 boys.
I do.
And so my last question, I know we talk a lot about your CPA journeys, tip and advice to young professionals, but also I want to bring up moms CPAs. So as a CPA and as a mom of 2 little boys, I know you're not experiencing busy season, but you still have a lot of work as a CPA with AICPA, and especially you move up from manager to director. And I believe during that time, that's when you have 2 boys. What are tips and advice you can give to mom CPAs out there to manage the work, to have work-life integration?
The biggest thing is knowing your worth and not being afraid to hold boundaries on what works for you and what doesn't work for you. I encourage my entire team. I have an amazing team, and I encourage them to hold their boundaries as well as it relates to making time and space for work, right? Like everyone, I think Rosey has like their buckets of priorities that are important to them. Family, friends, their kids, work, and any extracurricular activities or faith-based activities that are incredibly important to them. So I try and look at it's not one or the other. We're managing all of these things all at once. Everyone's doing it. I think as a woman in the profession, you may feel like there's, more of a mental load to try and do all of the things. I think for me, being very clear and direct with my immediate support system and with my family on, what I can and cannot achieve or what I can and cannot do in a particular day, along with being very clear and direct with the amazing people that I get to work with and my boss, and holding those boundaries and being very clear. I'm willing to give you all of this time, all of my time and dedication. When you have me here and I'm sitting here, you have my undivided attention. But then when I'm home, I want my undivided attention with my boys. I want to be able to make time and space to go on family vacations. And so far, Rosey, I can't say it's been perfect, but I think I've been able to manage my time, manage my stress, not in a bad way, but manage the stress as it relates to all of the things that are a priority to me decently well. And again, every day is a new learning experience. And I'm always listening to, my mentors and my coaches on how they're managing and doing it as well.
Thank you so much, Liz, for the interview today and all the tips and advice you provide during the discussion.
My pleasure, Rosey. Thank you so much for everything you do. I think this is absolutely amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.